Hi, I wanted to come on real fast and try to explain the group project to you. In this video, I'm going to show you how to access the group functions. I'm going to talk about what you're going to be doing in your groups. I'm going to tell you how to self-select for your group. It's going to be up to you which group you want to join, which is a new thing. And I'm also at the very end, just very briefly going to show you some examples from past classes, not something that I want you to replicate, but to see how you can make like a PowerPoint or a Zoom video or a handout really, really easy. We're not really focusing on the tech so much in the class as getting the information out to the group. So what this assignment is kind of designed to do is for you to become kind of the subject matter experts and to teach the rest of the class at the very end. In May, in like the 15th week, you're going to present to the class. It's a virtual class, so you're going to record some kind of presentation, and then I'll put it up in a discussion board and everybody will watch it. You also have some kind of handout or brochure or document that you're also going to give to the class so that they could have it at their own workplace, filled with lots of like hints and tips and tricks and hacks, a lot of resources, something that you can give to people that they could use professionally around the topic that you guys are going over. And I'm going to show you examples at the very end with really, really simple ways that you can make a Zoom video or a PowerPoint or something so that you can kind of virtually present. We're not going to do it in person, so it'll all be virtual. The first thing I'm going to show you is how to actually access the groups function. So this is my Canvas, but I'm gone in student view so you can see what it should be like for you and not for me as the teacher. So what you're going to do is you're going to be in your 155 class. You're going to go to the vertical toolbar that's all the way to the left where you can kind of see my clicker right now. You're going to click on people. And there from people, you're going to see everybody who's in the class, just their names. And then we're going to go to groups. And then there are 5 groups. These are all new groups. I've never kind of done this before. After talking with students that were finishing up last year and students over the last couple years, and then just like trends in education since the pandemic mostly, these are some things that people have brought to me that they're really concerned about. And I thought instead of, going over administration and management topics like finances or food or something like that, I would actually try to kind of build this around what you guys are really interested in and are saying that you're having some issues about. These are huge topics, and that is very intentional on my part. You are going to be able to self-select your group. So take a look at it this week and then email me with the group you want to be in. There are 5 groups. You don't have to give me a top 3. Just tell me the group you want to be in. If everybody wants to be in boundaries, that's why it's so big. We could kind of make it into boundaries with staff, or I could like kind of separate the group. So 5 people would be in one and 5 people would be in another. Same with childhood behaviors, things like that. So they're very big on purpose so that it allows us some freedom when we find out who wants to be in the group to kind of divide it into subtopics or subheadings. So like boundaries could be boundaries with staff, boundaries with family, boundaries with teachers, boundary with community members, things like that. So there's a lot of different directions. Even with child behaviors, it could become, how do you support a staff that's dealing with childhood behaviors? How do you deal with parents? Because remember, you are now in your supervisor kind of role. So you are thinking of yourself as a director or just somebody who has like leadership. So it's not how do you deal with a child behavior as a teacher, it's how do you support other people who are dealing with these childhood behaviors. Creating a great place to work, all about team building, fun, support, making a place that you actually want to go to work in the morning. So no Sunday scaries at this workplace, right? We're all excited on Monday morning or to the most of our ability to go spend 40 hours a week with these people at this place doing this thing. Handling staff conflicts. So when people get in a fight, when people are not getting along, when we are, struggling with each other, because even when we have great places to work, we're always going to have personality conflicts. We're always going to have hard things that happen. Maybe somebody who's going through a hard time in their life, how do you support them without it affecting your workplace? And then I also did one about respect, because I've heard that maybe in the last couple of years with the pandemic, maybe we're not seeing as much as respect as we might want to. How do we kind of start to make environments where we respect everybody and they respect us? What is respect? What does respect mean in this field where we're often so close with other people? So that's generally the 5 topics. You are going to email me with the one you want to go into. I'm going to put everybody into those groups. If they're too big, I'm going to divide them up into like subgroups. If they're not, then you guys will just be in your groups. Once you kind of get to your groups, and once I've kind of opened them up and sorted them into things, I have a discussion post in the group. So once everything is open and you've told me what group you want to be in, I put you into that group. Then when you come back to this group page, there'll be 3 little dots at the top right here. If you right click on it, it should say, take me to the group homepage. You'll go to your group homepage. I'll have a discussion board waiting for you. And in that first discussion board, once you're been selected and put into the groups, it will kind of say you need to come up with a communication plan. That's your first kind of step for this group project. And then you have a lot of freedom after that. Because I want you guys to make this what is most important to you, what do you need? Because at the very end of this project, all you need is a about 10-minute video or PowerPoint presentation that you can send me the link to and I can put up. And then you also need some kind of like Word document, brochure, handout that you can also give to all the rest of the staff. I mean, all the rest of the students in this class that will give them, you know, tips and tricks and resources on like team building, if you were in childhood behavior, if you were in creating a great place to work, something like that. But the first thing you need to do is decide how you want to communicate. And this is often the hardest. That's why I have a discussion post here on Canvas. It's just for this group because you're once again going to click on these 3 dots that will be available to you once you've chosen your group. And there'll be a discussion post just for that group that I've created, and it will be your communication plan. As a group, you will decide, do you want to be on text? Do you want to be on email? Do you want to be on Google? Do you want to stay on Canvas? Typically, most people choose email or text or something like that, or some other form of social media in order to keep on task with each other. You do have about 14 weeks to work on this, so you do have quite a long time. That's why you have it from the very first week, is because while it is due in May, you are almost, for the most part, working professionals. You all have lives and families and obligations outside of this class. So we do take our time with it. I know that there's not a lot of turnaround in this class because you might say, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. People go and work on it, and then you try to collaborate at the very kind of end as you're getting it all kind of ready to go. Just remember, once you're in the group with other people, and you do have responsibilities towards them. And while you have responsibilities outside of this class, please know that these people are also depending on you to get your work done in a somewhat timely manner. So taking 6 weeks to turn around something because it just isn't on your to-do list is not necessarily fair or respectful to the other people in your groups. So I always recommend having maybe a way or 2 to get a hold of each other. It does not have to be text, but some kind of like using your Palomar student emails or, you know, on social media or on Google can really be helpful when collaborating. While Canvas has collaborate functions, students report that they're not always the easiest to use. So telling people the best way that you would like to communicate, hearing from them, and then coming up with this is how we're going to communicate. Getting that done in the first 2 weeks is going to save you a lot of pain at the end when you can't necessarily get along with somebody or you can't get a hold of that person at the very end because you kind of haven't agreed on a way to communicate. From there, it's really up to you guys. I will be around and I will give you, I will check in from time to time, but as a group, you should be coming to me and asking me questions. Once again, these are large topics. Number one, because I might have to separate them. So boundaries might become boundaries with staff and boundaries with parents. There might be 2 subgroups that you might be put into if like 25 people want to be in that one or want to be in conflict or whatever it is. So they're designed so that I can make kind of subgroups if they're too big, but also because you are now like the supervisor, you are now the leader. What do you think other people need to know about boundaries? Send me drafts, give me ideas, ask me for help. That is what I'm here for. And I love to kind of do that. But at the end, all you need to present is about 10 minutes on your topic, why it's important, and what people who are similar to you, working in early childhood education, wanting to become maybe leaders or administrators in the field, what do they need to know about this? And then you're going to give them a brochure or a handout or a Word document that gives them some additional information with maybe resources or links that they can go to help them. I'm going to show you kind of examples for what that might look like now. So first I'm going to show you a PowerPoint. So this is a PowerPoint that somebody did, I think it was last year. So they took all of their information. I believe that everybody had maybe 4 or 5 slides that they were responsible for, and then they put them together in one large PowerPoint. The great thing about PowerPoint is if you don't want to have your face on the screen, or if you're having a hard time finding a time where you all can get together to record a Zoom video together, this is a good option because you can record your own narration for each slide. So if you had 5 slides, and in this case, it was about marketing. So if you were talking about Facebook and TikTok and Instagram and how you might market on those platforms, you'd put this into this large PowerPoint that one person started. You would add your own slide. And then I'm going to show you, if you go to at the very top, you can see the toolbar at the very top, the horizontal one that my mouse is on. If you hit record, you hit from current slide, and this will allow you to record your voice over this slide just for this exact one. So this might be, I'm showing you just the first slide. So you would go to record, you would hit from current slide, and then you would record your introduction. Hi, welcome to Marketing and Parent Engagement. And this PowerPoint, we're going to tell you all about how to market on social media, whatever it is. And then you can go to the next one, and whoever is supposed to narrate this one, once again, can go to record, hit from current slide, only current slide, and that will allow you just to record for this one slide on why it's important. So then you could take the PowerPoint, you could put an email, you could send it to the next person would put up their next 5 slides and narrate their own 5 slides, and then go on to the next person, next person, next person. So I'd hear everybody's voices, everybody would have some responsibility. You don't all have to get together at the same time and do a Zoom video. It's a more independent way to make a presentation. So you make one PowerPoint, you kind of send it around to people, saving it as you go, but each person is responsible for a couple of slides and a couple of these current slide narrations. All right, sorry, I'm going to show you another one now. This one is just a video. So this is just an example of 2 people who were in a group, and they got together. They were like, all right, let's carve out an hour on a Saturday night, or whenever is most convenient for you. They got Zoom, and they just hit record. They put their slide, I think they used a Prezi or something like that. They put their slides up and they just talked us through it. So it was fairly fast. I think it only took them about an hour. But that was an example of just getting together to do a Zoom video really fast. You've already had your PowerPoint or your Prezi or your slides or even your Word document created. You share the screen with it, and then you record yourself doing it with the other 2 or 3 people. This does require a little bit of forethought. You've already made the presentation. You get together, you decide who's going to record what, who's going to say what at what time, and then you just hit record. It does not have to be like this beautiful, you don't have to have animations. Sometimes people have done a Powtown animation. If you're familiar with that, that would totally be okay as well. It does not have to be like a slick presentation. You talking to the screen or you doing a PowerPoint is more than okay. Once again, this is not necessarily a technology class. This is a class where you're now the subject matter experts on whatever group you have decided to be in. So you chose respect or conflict because that was something you're interested in. You and your group are going to research it. You're going to spend about 10 minutes telling us more about it, how to get better at it, what are boundaries? Why should you have boundaries? What's an example of a boundary? Something like that. And then you're also going to give us a brochure handout, something like that. I'm going to show you what that's an example of. So this is not working. Let's get this. Share. There we go. So this is just an example of I have too many things up, sorry. There we go. That should be screen sharing. So this is an example of a brochure or handout that you also have to give to the class. So at the very end of class, one person is going to send me their PowerPoint or their Zoom or their PoW Powtown, which is like a cartoon maker. Whatever form of presentation, one person is going to send it to me from the group. Not everybody has to send it, just one person send me the link or the PowerPoint. And what that same person is also going to send me some kind of brochure or handouts. In this case, they made a Word document. They talked about what it is. They gave a lot of resources to it. They talked about how you can partner with the police, you can partner with colleges, you can partner with healthcare, you can partner, and they gave lots of resources as well. So that's an example of presentations. Typically what I see, you can use your creativity if you have a great idea, but what I normally see is the PowerPoint that I showed you, a Zoom that I showed you, and then some kind of brochure or handout, which is as simple as making a Google document or a Word document and putting links and resources that you found very helpful while you were doing this, that you think other people who are working early childhood education might also find helpful. So the first thing you need to do is to email me with which group out of the 5 would you like to be in. Then I'm going to put everybody into their groups and open it up to you. From there, you're going to go to the homepage of that Canvas group. And I'm going to show that to you again because I've had questions before. So I'll put an announcement out and say, everybody's got a group now. And then you'll go to your group's page and it should have, oh, I'm now in Boundaries. Fantastic. And then there'll be 3 dots on that and you're going to click it. It'll take you to your Canvas group page, which kind of looks like normal Canvas. It has discussions and announcements. I'll have already made a discussion for each group and it'll be come up with your communication plan. What is the best way to communicate? I like to do it this way because of that. Think what's going to be easiest for you in May 1st when you're trying to get this done. It's the end of the semester, maybe everybody's a little bit stressed. What's going to be the best way to communicate during those times of stress? If I need additional support, where will I get it from my staff, from my colleagues in this class? What would be the best way to communicate with them? And also knowing that Jolie is always available as well to send a draft to ask questions, to get support from. From there, you're going to kind of start your research process. I'll get into the groups every once in a while to check in, but for the most part, you're working towards at the end of the semester, you have some kind of presentation, Zoom or PowerPoint or another choice, and some kind of Word or Google document that you can also give to everybody. All right, you should feel pretty good about it. If not, please email me and I will offer any help and suggestions that I can. All right, see you guys later. Bye.